but I have to remember, because not everybody wants to record it. Some people don't.
Really?
So well, I don't ask everybody, but I can think that there might be some people that would not want me to post this. Although I don't know why, because they don't know who the student is. They have no clue, nor will they ever get that information. So that's the essence of finessing. It's different depending on the suit combination. In other words, in this situation, I have the ace and the queen in one hand. So as long as I lead towards the ace queen, I will be able to finesse the king if it's there. In the other situation, I have the queen over there.
Hold on one
And
second. David,
what?
if you have the king,
Uh-huh.
okay, now see, this is where I start getting confused. You're finessing the queen with the objective, with the objective of having the king, so to speak, fill in that position between the ace and the queen.
You want this queen to score a trick. I have queen little opposite ace little. At best, I can only get 2 tricks here. And if I lead the queen and he covers with the king, at best, I'm only getting 1 trick. It's going to go queen, king, ace. There's my 1 trick, and then I'm going to lose the other 2.
All right, so it really doesn't. Yeah, I guess it does, but in these situations,
does matter. This situation here, I want to lay down the ace in case it's a singleton king, and then I want to lead towards the queen. And I'm hoping here that the king is on the left. Now, if I give myself the jack and the 10, let's put the jack and the 10 there. Now, if the king is on the right, I get 3 tricks. I'm going to lead the queen and duck. And then I'm going to lead the jack and duck. And then I'm going to lead the 10 to the ace. I'm going to score all 3 tricks here if the king is on my right. So in this situation, I'm always going to play the finesse, hoping the king is on my right. But it matters a lot what these undercards are. Whether you have the jack, the 10, maybe the 9. It just depends.
Why do they always say lead low? That's all I hear.
No, the expression is second hand low. Second hand, you play when you're playing second to a trick. Most of the time, you want to play low. When you're playing third to a trick, most of the time you want to play high. And
so what is considered low in that hand that you're moving around the
well, there is no low. I've got queen jack 10, so I have to lead one of them.
How about the hand that's ace queen 10?
So if I have to play this suit, there's only one way to get 2 tricks. And that's to lead towards the queen, hoping the king is on the left. Notice if the king is on the left here and he goes up with it, he gets his king, but then I score the ace and the queen. And let's say he ducks and doesn't go up with it. I stick in the queen, I score that trick. I then score my ace and I lose 1 trick, where I always have to lose 1 trick with this combination. But it depends. Every suit combination is kind of a different story, and you have to kind of learn how to play different suit combinations.
Right, so you're really not.
Here's another one. Let me give you another one.
Wait a second. You're really not taking one of these cards. Let's say it was a 4, and when they say leading low, you're really not leading the 4, so to speak, as an example, as if you would be putting the 4 in that position. You're leading by leading that 4. You're putting your position.
You don't care whether it's a 4 or a deuce. It's not taking a trick. The only cards that matter are the queen and the ace in that situation that I just described to you.
Okay, so when you lead something towards the queen or towards the ace, it's simply, in fact, what it does is that allows you to utilize that king or ace, so to speak, to take a trick.
Here's another common situation. All of these come up repeatedly, and you just kind of have to learn how to play each one of them. Here's a situation where I'm missing the king and the queen. If I lead from the south hand here, the best I can do is lay down the ace, and then the jack's going to lose to the king or the queen, and the 10's going to lose to the other one. So I'm going to only get one trick here if I lead out the ace. Well, what if I get the dummy? This is dummy. And I lead small, and I stick in the 10. And it loses to either the king or the queen.
What do you mean?
And
you
then
stick
next time I get back to dummy and I lead towards my ace jack and I stick in the jack.
David, I don't know what you mean when you say you stick in.
I put in the jack. I play the little card from dummy, and if he plays small on my right, I stick in the jack. I play the jack. Now, this will, if you play this combination a million times, you will win two tricks 75% of the time, because 75% of the time, the honors that you're missing are split. One person has one honor and the other person has the other, or the person on the right has both the king and the queen, and then you can't go wrong. You lead towards this hand. If they play the king or the queen, you obviously take it, but now you're getting two tricks, no matter what. You always are getting two tricks. So there's four possible ways that the king and the queen can be out. You can have the king over there and the queen over here. You can have the queen over there and the king over there. You can have the king queen on your left, or you can have the king queen on your right. Each of those are 25%. That's 25%, that's 25%, that's 25%, that's 25%. There's only four ways the missing cards can be laid out.
But you're actually using the card.
If I lead from the little hand towards the strong hand with the intention of finessing twice, this is called a double hook, a double finesse, I'm going to win two tricks 75% of the time. I'm gonna win it when this is the case. I'm gonna win it when this is the case, and I'm gonna win it with the bottom one. Only time I'm gonna lose two tricks is when the king and the queen are on the left, and that's only 25% of the time. So by playing the double finesse, it works 75% of the time, which is really good. I mean, you always want to be doing that. You don't want to be leading this suit from the strong hand. It's the general principle is you lead towards strength. Now, when I had the queen XX opposite the ace, it's not clear what leading towards strength means. So this is a combination you're just going to have to learn. When you want to lead small to the ace and then small to the queen. And when I say small to the queen, I mean, obviously, if this guy goes up with the king, you don't play the queen, you play your little card. But if this guy doesn't go up with the king, you go up with the queen and you hope that he has it.
So you're not forcing that down. In other words, in the example,
he can't do anything. He's trapped. If he has the king there, he cannot keep you from winning two tricks.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you have that scenario with the queen XX and the ace XX, the simple fact when you lead to it, what you're saying is if you lead the ace or you lead the X or another small X, you're actually leading that card to start the motion. You're not taking you're not taking, this is actually one of your, so to speak, low cards. You're not putting
Yes.
another card in here to substitute.
Yeah. But
Right?
this is the same principle as a finesse. Is you want to figure out where you want the king to be. Do you want the king to be on your left or your right? Well, if the king is on my left, I get 2 tricks automatically. If the king is on my right, I do not. I only get 1 trick. If the king is over here, I can't get 2 tricks. If I lead ace and then small to the queen, he wins it with the king, and then they get the jack. So it really depends on what your cards are. Give me the queen 10x, and it kind of changes everything. Now you can lay down the ace and lead towards the queen 10, and you might want to put in the 10. And if this guy had the jack, that'll force the king, and then your queen will be good. So there are literally, let's say there's about 10. There's about 10 very common suit combinations that you want to learn how to play. In other words, you always want to play it that way. Over here, where I had little, opposite ace, jack 10, you always want to lead twice. Lead once towards your 10 and then again towards your jack. And that works 75% of the time. If I have queen XX opposite ace 10XX, that's a totally different situation. And the proper way to play this is to start out by playing small towards the queen. And if it loses to the king, then you get back to the north hand and you play small to the ace 10 and you stick in the 10. So this is a very common card combination. And you need to know how to play that. And the proper way to play this is small to the queen. And if that wins, then you got your 2 tricks. You get your queen and your ace. If it loses, you're still missing the jack. So now you're going to finesse the jack.
So if the small, in that example.
Yeah, there's no actual general rule that you can apply. It's all specific to the combination, the suit combination cards that you have.
Right,
in other words, this one here where I have queen XX opposite ace 10 XX, let's change that and put the queen in the hand like this. Now I have XXX. The proper way to play that suit combination is to lead small to the 10. And if it loses to either the jack or the king, you get back there and you play small to the queen. So this is completely different than if I have queen XX on the other hand. So you're going to have to learn these individually. There is no general rule. Well, the only general rule that I can really say is lead towards your strength. But that doesn't always answer the question. Because when you have queen XX opposite ace XX, what's the strength? You lead towards the ace, but then you go back and you lead towards the queen. So
if you have XXX and ace, what is that? Ace queen 10.
Ace queen 10. Yeah.
Now, if I'm one of those small X's up there on top on the north, and I'm leaning towards the south, is it feasible that whatever cards that I have there on the east are going to take over that small, whatever it is that I'm leading from the north before it has a chance to affect?
What if this guy has the king and the jack? You're going to win 3 tricks here, no matter what he does.
Well, the king would win the X.
No, it wouldn't. You'd lead the X, he'd stick in the king, you'd win it with the ace. And then you get back over there and you lead towards your queen 10. And it doesn't matter what he does. You're finessing his jack.
Okay, so the fact is, you're making a choice of what you're trying to finesse. And that question I'm asking you, you're saying to yourself, I can finesse the ace. Okay, I don't have to, it's not a
You're
matter of.
finessing both cards. In
Yeah,
this situation, you're hoping the king and the jack are both on your right. And if they are, there's nothing he can do. You just lead, you're going to win 3 tricks as long as you play it correctly. Your first play is small to the 10. Let's say that loses to the jack. Well, now your ace and queen, no, excuse me. Let's say that loses to the king. Well, now your ace and queen are good, and it doesn't matter what you do. But let's say it loses to the jack. When you play small to the 10, and this guy has the jack, he wins it. Next time you get over there and you finesse the king. You lead small towards your ace queen with the intention of putting in the queen.
What happens if the ace that's done the south is a different suit than what you're than what you're doing with the north?
Okay, what we're talking about is suit combinations where all cards are in the same suit. If this ace is a different suit, then it's moot.
Okay, so it has to be the same suit that you're dealing
Yeah,
with.
yeah. These are called suit combinations, and you really just need experience or to encounter them frequently enough that you know how to play them. Now, when I'm looking at this, I don't know yet how I'm going to play it because I can't see dummy. Let's say I end up in diamonds. And if dummy has 3 diamonds, it matters because then I'm going to play small towards my ace queen and I'm only going to finesse the king. But if dummy has just 2 diamonds, I'm going to do this double finesse. I'm going to lead small towards my 10. When I say I'm going to lead small towards my 10, what I mean is I'm going to lead small, and if he does not put up one of the honors, because most of the time they won't. Everybody is taught to play second hand low. So he's just going to play a small card. I'm going to stick in the 10. That's what I mean when I say I'm going to lead towards my 10. If he puts in one of the honors, then I'm going to cover it, no matter which one it is. If he puts in the jack, I'm going to put in the queen. Puts in the king, I'm going to put in the ace. He puts in a low card, I'm going to put in the 10. But that's only if I only have 8 diamonds. If I have 10 diamonds, let's say dummy has 4 diamonds, then I'm just going to finesse the king only. And I'm going to lead small towards the ace queen with the intention of putting in the queen. So it depends on which honors you're missing, where they are, and how many you have. So there's a lot of unanswered questions that it changes depending on the situation.
Is the reason on this particular scenario that you say with the 4 extra diamonds that you're leaving these diamonds?
Because if dummy has 4, we have 10, and I'm only missing 3 cards. I'm missing the king, the jack, and another little card. And the most likely way they're going to split is 2-1. So I don't need to finesse the jack. I might pick up the entire suit if I'm leading from X, 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 X. So I lead small to the queen. It wins, and the suit splits. Now I know there's only 1 diamond out, and I'll drop it with the ace. But if I have XX and I'm missing 5 diamonds, now the proper way to play the suit is to play small towards the 10. Because every now and then this person will have both the king and the jack, and you will not lose a trick. You'll lead small to the 10, it'll win. You get back to dummy, you lead small to the queen. That will win.
Can you get back to the dummy without any interference when you play this way?
Well, that's the secret of bridge, is managing your entries. In other words, when you understand which side you want to lead from, that's helpful in managing your entries. If I have XX opposite my diamond holding here, I have to, first of all, make sure I can get to dummy twice, to lead twice. If I can only get the dummy once, then I can't do that play. I can't lead towards the 10. I got to lead towards the queen and hope that that finesse works. But if I can get the dummy twice, the right way to play this combination is to start out by leading towards the 10. And
Okay.
you'll be amazed, sometimes that'll work. Then you get back to dummy and you lead it again. And let's say he starts with king, jack, X on your right. Okay, the first time you lead, he plays low, as you're supposed to. I stick in the 10, it wins. I get back to dummy, I play this card. And now it doesn't matter what he does. If he plays the jack, I stick in the queen, it wins. And then my ace drops his king, and I pick up 6 diamond tricks. So I could spend 3 lessons teaching you all of the various suit combinations that you're going to encounter and how to play them properly. But not sure that's necessarily the best way to teach. If I had a table, I might want to do that, but I don't know that I can think of all of them. There's so many different ones that it's easier from a teaching point of view to wait until we encounter them. And then I'll tell you how the right way to play that combination is.
Okay.
And you just want to remember it so that the next time you face it, you'll know how to play it.
Okay. You ready for my next question?
Sure.
All right. I guess you'd have to do this where it says players online, so to speak. I don't know what you have up there. Hold on a second. Okay, the cards are dealt, and the bidder has let me see if I can remember. The bidder would have anything you want. Ace, not ace. I mean, you could have spades, you could have hearts, you could have whatever you want. Actually, put a heart up there. Let's see what happens. The bidder bids a heart, and it comes back, within the first go around with an additional change. Let's say he bids, excuse me, not a heart. Let's say he bids a diamond, and the receiver
Okay, let's get our terminology right here, because terminology is really, really important when you're teaching bridge and trying to learn it. You have the opener and you have the responder. The opener is the first person to open the bidding. In this case, that was not the dealer. The dealer was North. North passed. So East opens 1 spade.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about this.
No, I know, but terminology wise, East is the opener.
Okay.
If I bid 2 diamonds, I am the overcaller. And then West is the responder. So to be able to talk about bridge, let's use that terminology. It's very helpful.
Okay, so let's say the opener
Okay.
is a diamond.
Okay.
All right, and your opponent passes,
Okay.
and you have a spade. All right.
You bid a spade?
Yeah, you have spades, single spade. One
You
spade.
have a singleton spade?
No, not a singleton. You have
a spade suit, so you're going to respond to spade?
You're going to respond to spade.
Okay.
So in that situation, what I've seen in some of the papers that I have is that responding back to the opener, 2 of whatever, it indicates that you have 18 to 19 points.
Okay, what you're talking about is if the opener opens like 1 club and the responder bids 1 spade and the opener bids 2 no trump, that's 18 to 19 balanced.
So that's, so,
So this is the opener. This is the responder. That's the opener's rebid.
okay, so that indicates to you that the opener has
18,
18
19.
to 19 points.
Because if he had 15 to 17, he would have opened a no trump. So
Okay.
this is in that range. And if he had 20 to 21, he would have opened two no trump. So
All right.
opening a no trump is 15 to 17 if it's one, it's 20 to 21 if it's two. There's that place in between where you have 18 or 19. And the way to show that is to open one of a suit, whatever responder bids, you then jump to two no. This is a rebid here. That's a rebid by opener. And
Okay,
that
so,
shows 18 to 19 high card.
all right, so let's work this around differently for a second. Okay, the opener starts with, let's say the opener starts with a heart. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do a bit of heart. The opener starts with, that's too high. No, it's not. So the opener starts with a heart, and the responder comes back with two clubs.
Okay, that's game forcing because it's 2/1.
Well, I don't know 2/1 and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm going to teach you is 2/1. You need to learn 2/1. In other words, you cannot bid two clubs as the responder unless you have an opening hand yourself, because you're forcing to game. Opener only has 13 points minimum. So in order to do a 2/1, you have to have 13 points. That means together you have 26 points. And so when you bid 2/1 as your first response, you are forcing to game. Neither the opener nor the responder can make a bid, or excuse me, pass a bid that is not at the game level. In other words, if I rebid two hearts here, goes one heart, two clubs, two hearts, that's forcing. We are forced to game by the two club bid.
All right, what I'm trying to say is when the opener gets back to his bid, maybe you can figure it out with what you want to do with the cards. The opener opens with something, okay, and the responder responds back, even if it's one no trump.
Okay.
Because that's all he has, 6 to 9 points, etc. And then the opener comes back and he puts down two no trump.
Yes, that does show 18 to 19.
Even though the opener said heart.
Yep, that happened to me yesterday. I opened a heart. My partner bid a no trump. I bid two no trump. I had 18 to 19. Two no trump. Okay, let's put it down. Let's say it goes one heart, one no trump, and then here, let's get rid of this because it's confusing. And then the opener bids two no trump. Well, why would I bid two no trump there? I can pass one no trump. So I'm bidding two no trump there as an invite. I'm inviting to game. The only thing I could have, since this one no trump normally shows 6 to 9 points, if I bid two no trump, I better have 18 to 19.
All right, well, what I'm trying to say, again, I'm not doing very well at it, is I've seen the situation come up a few times where, the opener opens with something, the responder, comes back and he says whatever he wants to respond. He gets back to the opener and the opener bids two no. Okay. And in those situations, he doesn't have 18 to 19 points, but I'm not.
You can't do that. You can't rebid two no. You always have to have your bid.
So if the
this bid means 18 to 19. If you don't have 18 to 19, you can't make that bid.
All right. So if the opener opened one heart,
okay,
the responder bid 2-no. What does that
Well,
tell?
that means something totally different.
Right, what does
That's
that
a convention called Jacoby 2-no Trump. And that is a convention that everybody plays. What this bid means is opening hand, in other words, 13 plus, 4 card heart support or more. That's what it means. The 2-no bid there is actually a raise in hearts, but it's a special convention that says this specifically. You can't do this if you don't have at least 4 hearts, and you can't do it if you don't have 13 or more points. So responding 2-no Trump to one of a major is called Oswald, or not Oswald, that was his first name, Jacoby 2-no Trump. And most people play it. I don't know of a single person in any card club that does not play this as Jacoby 2-no Trump.
You have
So
to
this
declare,
is another convention you're going to want to learn.
you have to declare it.
Yes,
not declare,
you
alert
have
it.
to alert it. In other words, if you're playing in a real game, the moment the 2-no is bid, this person alerts it and says that is Jacoby 2-no Trump. He is promising 4+ hearts, and he has at least an opening hand.
All right, let me tell you what I'm trying to do, because I'm not explaining it well. I'm trying to put in a situation where the opener opens with something, okay? The receiver comes back with something else, okay?
You need to be specific, Norm, because some things, there are so many, there's literally an infinite number of combinations that could be something, something. I can't answer a question that goes something, something.
All right, so say the
Give me
opener
an example. Put something
right.
specific in.
Say the opener opens with 1 diamond. Okay, and the responder says 2 diamonds.
Okay, that means something very specific. 6 to 9 points and at least 3 or more diamonds.
Okay.
When you raise a suit 1 level, and it doesn't matter whether it's clubs, diamonds, hearts, or spades. If it goes 1 heart, 2 hearts, that's this hand. If it goes 1 spade, 2 spades, that's that hand. Now, some people play that if you open a minor, they play inverse minors, and that's a stronger hand. The typical 2 diamond bid would be 3 diamonds. In other words, there's lots of conventions. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible for you.
Well, I'm trying to get to the point where the third time the bid comes out, the opener, okay, now bids 2-no Trump.
Over this 1 diamond, 2 diamonds?
Right.
Yeah, that's a big hand because he's only promising 6 points. So that would be 18 to 19. You're inviting to 3-no Trump. You don't want to play it at a minor suit. You got to go all the way to the 5 level to score a game in a minor suit. Whereas 3-no Trump only needs 9 tricks.
Yeah, but he says 2-no Trump. Okay.
Right.
One diamond, 2 diamonds, 2-no Trump. What is that?
That's 18 to 19 points. And the responder can pass that if he's on a minimum hand, say 6 or 7. But if he's on 8 or 9, he should bid 3-no Trump. In other words, there's a lot of bids in bridge that are invitational. That means you can pass if you're on the minimum range that you've told me, or you can go on if you're on the maximum range. So that's what you do opposite an invitational bid. You usually have a 3 or a 4 point range in your point count that you've told. In other words, the 2 diamond bidder has said he has 6 to 9 points. So the low end of that range is 6 or 7. The high end is 8 or 9. So if opener bids 2 no trump and you're on 8 to 9, you're on the higher end, you're going to accept the invitation and bid 3 no trump. If you're on the low end, you're just going to pass and play it at 2 no trump.
All right, because I see that 2 no trump being used in a lot of different ways. And to me, sometimes depending upon,
Well,
how
when
it's
you say you see it, does that mean by good and bad players or in print or?
no, I have it in different books. I see it.
Okay,
What
okay,
I'll do, I'll get it out and I'll make sure I have it for the next time so that
okay.
you see it.
Well, it also depends on how they play the 2 diamond bid there. As I said, most people play the minors as inverted, meaning 2 diamond, 1 diamond, 2 diamonds is actually stronger than 1 diamond, 3 diamonds. That's what I mean by inverted. Typically, let's say the opener opens 1 heart, okay, and the responder bids 3 hearts. That's a limit raise. That is 10 to 12 points with at least 3 cards and hearts. If the opener bids 1 heart and you bid 2 hearts, that's less. That's 6 to 9 points. It's real simple. But if it's a minor suit and it goes 1 club, 3 clubs, that's weak. This is meant to preempt the opponents out of whatever contract they might be able to make. So if you're playing inverted minors, this is weak, whereas 1 club, 2 clubs is strong and forcing. You cannot pass 2 clubs here if you're playing inverted minors. And I don't know, it depends on when the book you're reading was published. If it's 50 years ago, it's probably regular minors. If it was published yesterday, it almost certainly is inverted minors. The
Well,
bidding at bridge has evolved.
where I'm getting confused is a lot of times the 2 no trump bid, comes in as the third.
Okay. The best thing to do when you see a situation that confuses you is write it out specifically. I can't deal with generalities. There's just too many different combinations to deal with generalities.
Well, isn't that third bid supposedly to set up your hand basically as compared to, in other words, shouldn't it supposedly have a certain point value and a certain card
Yeah,
value?
if it goes no, it depends on what systems you're playing. I don't know what systems the book you're reading are playing. It depends on when it was written. If it was written 50 years ago, it's going to be completely different than the systems that are in play today. I took 42 years off from bridge. I played bridge for 10 years in the 70s. Came back, started playing in 2019. Bidding was like a completely different language. It had evolved and changed so much that I had to completely relearn it. And quite honestly, the best way to do this is to do it like we're doing. We're randomly dealing hands and facing the situation when we come up against it. Now, I can fully appreciate the fact that you're reading, and I'm glad to hear that on your own. But if you have a question, it's got to be specific. It can't be general. You can't tell me this guy opened 1 and this guy opened 2, and now what's the rebid mean? It all depends on what he opened. So tell me, he opened a club, his partner bid a spade, he rebid a no trump. What does that mean? I can answer that.
Do it.
That means he had a balanced hand of 12 to 14 points. If the bidding were to go, in other words, he would have opened a no trump if he'd had 15 to 17. So when you open a minor suit, not even a minor, when you open anything, and this guy bids at the 1 level, let's say 1 heart, and you bid 1 no trump, that means you have the same shape as if you would have opened a no trump, only instead of having 15 to 17, you have 12 to 14. That's how you show a 12 to 14 point hand, is by opening one and rebidding a no trump.
Isn't this forcing, what's it called?
No, this bid is
okay,
forcing,
No, I
but
don't mean.
this bid is not, because once you've narrowed your hand, in other words, this bid really narrows your hand. There's only 3 shapes that count as balanced, and 12 to 14, that's extremely descriptive of your hand. So this bid is not forcing. Responder can do whatever he wants to do. If he has, say, an opening hand himself, he might bid 3 no trump. If he has 10 points, he might bid 2 no trump. Well, not with 10, but with 11. Let's give him 11, the responder here, let's give him 11 points. And if the opener rebids a no trump, then responder might bid 2 no trump, saying, well, if you're near the top of this range, bid 3. If you're near the bottom, just leave it at 2.
Well, if you had this and you bid, and here you bid the one club, right?
Okay.
And now if you bid here 2 diamonds, isn't that a convention?
Talking about a rebid of 2 diamonds?
Yeah.
That's a reverse, and it is a convention. And you can't do that without 16 or 17 points. And the reason it's a reverse, here, I'll use this exact situation here. The definition of a reverse is if the opener rebids a suit that forces the responder to the 3 level to support his original suit, that's a reverse. In other words, the responder here, if he wants to choose clubs over diamonds, he's got to bid 3 clubs. And he had to go to the 3 level. Whereas notice the difference. If I open a diamond and partner bids a heart and I rebid 2 clubs, that's not a reverse, because to support diamonds, he can do it at the same level. He can go to 2 diamonds if he likes diamonds better than clubs. So this is not a reverse, but if you open a club and reverse to 2 diamonds, that shows a much bigger hand. This shows minimum, but 1 club followed by 2 diamonds shows at least 16 high card plus.
Okay, and what if the opener opens?
And reverses are forcing 1 round. You cannot pass a reverse. The responder, even if he just has 6 points only, you have to bid if your partner reverses you. What are some other reverses? Here, let me give you some more, just so you'll understand reverses. There's the opener, here's the responder. Let's say I open 1 heart. Responder bids a no trump. I bid 2 spades. Is that a reverse?
I'm not sure.
Does responder have to go to the 3 level to support my first suit?
No.
Yes, he does. He has to go to 3 hearts. Can't bid 2 hearts. He's got to make a bid bigger than 2 spades.
Oh, he's got to go bigger than the 2 spades.
So he's got to go to the 3 level to support my first bid suit. That means that's a reverse. Now let's switch it. Let's have him open a spade and rebid 2 hearts. That's not a reverse, because to support my first suit, he can bid 2 spades. He doesn't have to go to the 3 level to support my original suit. So this bid is not forcing. It's not a reverse. It can be passed. I'm just saying, I got spades and hearts, take your pick. You can pass 2 hearts. You can go back and bid 2 spades. You can do a number of things. But this concept of a reverse is an important one.
Okay,
there's a lot of beginning players that they'll come to the table and they'll say, I don't play reverses. And I want to tell them, yes, you do. You just don't have the proper hand to do it.
What if the opener bids 3 spades?
Opening or rebidding 3 spades?
No, opening.
3 spades is a preemptive bid, shows a 7-card suit, less than 10 points.
Does it always have to be a preemptive bid?
Yes, if you open it. 3 spades, yeah.
Okay.
So it's 2 spades. 2 spades says you have a 6-card spade suit. 3 spades says you have a 7-card suit. That's the only difference between the two.
Excuse me 1 minute. I gotta go to the men's room, okay?
Sure.
Just sorry, David.
No problem. Let's talk about this situation more, because this is very common. Usually the opener at his first rebid limits his hand. In other words, this opening spade bid could be 12 to 22. You don't know. He's got an opening hand, but it could be as many as 22 points. Okay, so at his first rebid, let's say it goes 1 spade, 1 no by the responder. Now, if I bid 2 spades, I have limited my hand. I now have 12 to 15 points, and I have 6 card spade suit. Because I bid it once to show 5. If I rebid it, I got 6. Okay, so a simple minimum rebid limits your hand. And now responder can know what's going on. He knows you're not on 17 or 18. Let's say you were on 17. Then you would bid 3 spades. So if it goes 1 spade, 1 no trump, and you jump to 3 spades, that shows 16 to 18. So that's the next level up. And let's say it goes 1 spade, 1 no trump, 4 spades. That shows 19 to 21. So it's a simple progression in most cases where the number of, if you rebid the cheapest you can rebid, it shows you have a minimum hand. Even if I open a spade and then bid 2 hearts, that's still minimum. Because if I open a spade and I bid 2 hearts, that says, yes, I might have 16, but I don't have 20. If I had 20, I would rebid 3 hearts. And that does show 20 points. That's called a jump shift by opener. That is game forcing. Once I have jump shifted to a second suit on my first rebid, that is forcing both of us to game. Neither one of us can pass short of game.
All right, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
The opener opens with a spade or a heart. Okay, you're the responder, and you respond 2 no trump.
That's Jacoby 2 no trump. That says you have an opening hand yourself, and you have spades support. Spades is the suit. There's no more searching for what suit we're going to play it in. Is all we have is a question as to whether we're going to play it in game at 4 spades or 6 spades or 7 spades.
So how do you know you're not indicating 1 heart, and he bids 1 heart, and you bid 2 no trump, that you're playing the game of hearts?
That's an agreement that hearts. You wouldn't be able to do that without 4 hearts. This is a convention, though. It's not automatic. Not everybody would be playing Jacoby 2 no trump, but most people do. It's a very worthwhile convention. When you have an opening hand and your partner opens a suit that you have 4 of, you love Jacoby 2 no trump because you describe your hand immediately when you bid 2 no trump. You just tell partner, I have 4 spades or 4 of whatever major you bid, and I have an opening hand myself or better. So this is a great convention for getting to slams because it's immediately game forcing. Neither person can pass short of 4 spades here. So the normal way to play this is they open a major, 2 no trump is Jacoby 2 no trump, and then the opener, if he has a singleton, he bids it. 3 clubs means I have a singleton or a void in clubs. And it's just a way of exchanging information. And that's helpful. Say responder has ace, X, X, X of clubs. He loves hearing that. You have a singleton. His ace is going to take care of your singleton, and he's going to be able to trump all 3 of those. So it gives him vital information as to how to go forth. Should we go to slam or not? Well, this would be awfully good news to hear if I had ace, X, X. On the other hand, if I had king, queen, X, I wouldn't want to hear my partner had a singleton club. That's not good. There's 5 points that's wasted. I'm going to lose a club trick. And I may get value out of the king, queen, I may not. So there's lots of systems that help you evaluate your hand and determine how strong the combined hands are as to how far to go. But there are hundreds of conventions, literally hundreds of conventions. And I don't want to overwhelm you with conventions. I want to play as close to no conventions as we can. But there are some that everybody plays, including yourself. You play Stayman, right?
Right.
So if the opener opens one no trump and you're the responder and you bid 2 clubs, that says absolutely nothing about clubs. That's completely artificial. Used to have to be alerted. Anytime you make a bid that you do not have that suit, you need to alert it. But everybody plays Stayman now. So the governing body of Bridge changed the rules and said this no longer has to be alerted because everybody plays it.
Okay.
Likewise, if you bid 2 diamonds, that doesn't mean diamonds. That's a transfer to bid 2 hearts for opener. Opener must bid 2 hearts. So there's all these conventions. I want to stay away from all but the most basic. And
Well, I'm going to give you one more because you started to show it, and I seen it. I actually had bid it once, but not often. But it starts off with the opener bidding a club, okay, or a diamond. But let's say it's a club, okay. And the responder might say, let's say he says 2 hearts.
that is a jump because he could have bid 1 heart.
All right. So
these are considered weak jump shifts. You're shifting to a different suit and you're jumping.
All right, so
that's weak. That's a 6-card heart suit, less than 6 points.
All right, so let's say it's 1 heart.
Okay. Makes all the world of difference in the world. Okay. 1 heart is completely unlimited. That could be 6 to 25.
Okay, and it gets back to the opener, and the opener bids no trump, meaning he's got
how many no trump? 1 or 2 or 3 or 4?
1.
1 no trump. That's a weak no trump. Balanced shape, 12 to 14 points.
Okay.
And responder does whatever he wants to do after that.
It gets back to the responder. And if the opener opened with a club, if the responder goes back and he says 2 diamonds at this point. Okay, what is that called?
New minor forcing.
Okay, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it's the new minor because it's diamonds, not clubs. And this is a convention that is kind of asking opener, do you have 3 hearts in your hand? If you have 3 hearts, in other words, this 1 heart could be a 4-card suit, could be a 7-card suit. It's at least 4 cards. But this person, it may really be important to know whether partner has at least 3 hearts. So if you make this new minor forcing bid, you have to bid. The opener cannot pass that. And if he had 3 hearts, he would bid 2 hearts. If he didn't have 3 hearts, he would bid probably 2 no trump. Simple as that.
Okay.
And
I see that periodically when we play.
Yeah, most people play new minor forcing. I do not. I have a special convention that applies whenever opener rebids a no trump. It's called 2-way check back. It's quite complicated. I don't really think that you should try to tackle that. New minor forcing is good enough. It's a perfectly good system. It's just not the best, in my opinion. But
all right, the other problems that I get to is which you just rattled off, which is terrific. But I don't see anywhere where it helps me with the sense of How many points and how many cards does this mean in this particular situation?
Okay, here's the goal of bridge. To give as much information to your partner as possible. Once I've rebid one no trump, I've given my partner, the responder, a ton of information. I'm telling them I'm balanced and I have 12 to 14. So responder can do whatever he wants. Given that information, responder now has more information about the combined hands than the opener does. The opener, when he rebids one no trump, still has no idea whether this one heart bid was 6 points or 22 points. So he's not in a position to set the contract. He's giving information to the responder, and now the responder has the best information about both hands, and he can choose to pass if he wants. He can choose to bid again if he wants. He can jump to 3 no trump if he thinks if he's on 13 points, he might jump to 3 no trump, or he could invite with 2 no trump. That's invitation. That says, opener, if you're on a good 13 or 14, bid 3. If you're on minimum 12 or even 11, pass. That's the way bridge works. You exchange information until one person has the most information about the two hands, and they set the contract or make some sort of an invitational bid.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to, that's why I'll get the
That
example.
is the essence of bridge. Absolutely.
That's
why opening one no trump hand is such a good bit, is because it immediately narrows the range of your hand. Partner knows you have 15 to 17 high card and you have balance shape.
Well, I'm trying to find out, and I'll get it for you because it bothers me, whereby the opener and responder get to the point where the responder at the certain point in reference to the third bid, bid something.
You're gonna have to be specific on those kind of questions.
That's what I'm going to get for you, but I'm saying that's what confused me.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, you give me a specific sequence and I can give you an answer. Absolutely.
Because a lot of times I see that happening. I apologize, I don't have it for you at hand, but I see it happening, and I'm just saying to myself, how does my
Well, next time you have that question, just write down the sequence of bidding, and then you can ask it, and we can answer it directly. But it's got to be specific. General doesn't work. There's just too many different combinations.
I'll text it to you too. So
okay, that's fine.
So at least you have it in front of you, so you've had to look at it from that standpoint. But this is good. I mean, everything with this is good. The more I can.
Let's play at least one hand here.
Okay.
In other words, we've gone past the hour, but I don't mind. Let's play a hand. So here, the dealer was north, partner of south. The hand you're looking at is the south hand. And east opens the bidding, one spade. What would you do with this hand?
Well, this hand has 4, 7, 8, 12, 14. This has 14 high card points. I guess you could overcall this.
Definitely. 6 card, a really good 6 card suit. And remember, you can overcall on 8 to 17. That's all you need to overcall. 8 to 17 high card points. You don't need an opening hand to overcall. And overcalling is good. You want to do it when you have a hand to do it. I would overcall even if I just had 5 diamonds here. You could take away the king and the jack of clubs and I would still overcall. You don't need much to overcall. It's a way of interfering. It accomplishes quite a bit. First of all, if partner ends up on lead, it gives him a suit to lead. He'll lead the suit you overcall. Secondly, it gets in the way of the opponents. It takes up room from their bidding. Thirdly, you guys might have, your partner might have diamonds and you might win the contract at some number of diamonds. So there's 3 reasons to overcall. And you should be overcalling when you have a hand that meets this criterion. It also depends on vulnerability. If you're not vulnerable, you can overcall with 8 points. If you're vulnerable, I would suggest you have at least 10. So let's overcall 2 diamonds. Okay, West supported his partner spades. So what does this 2 spade bid mean?
That means he
How
has,
many points? How many spades?
has 6 spades total.
No, the 2 spade bid shows 3 spades.
No, it's 2 spades, 6 spades total.
Forget total. This 2 spade bid here is 3 card or more support in spades.
Okay.
You would not make this bid if you only had a doubleton. You have to have at least 3 to make that bid. This is the same bid as if the opener opened 1 spade and the responder bids 2 spades. That very specifically says 6 to 9 points, 3 plus spades.
Why isn't
Not
that
10, not 10, not 5, 6 to 9, and at least 3 spades. Usually only 3 spades, but sometimes you could have 4.
Why isn't this the same thing?
It is the same thing. In other words, this overcall didn't affect anything. He still made a 2 spade bid, so it still means this exact thing right here.
It doesn't mean he needed 5 spades to open.
Yeah, but once you know your partner has 5 spades, you're looking for an 8 card fit. So if you have 3, you want to show them you have 3.
But to me, what we play or what I played or whatever, a 2 spade bid over a 1 spade opening indicates that you have 6 spades.
No, that doesn't make any sense, Norm.
That's I'll get it and I'll show it.
No, never. Not in the history of bridge has that ever meant that. 1 spade, 2 spades, or 1 heart, 2 hearts is 6 to 9 points, at least 3 card support. Not 6 card. How often are you going to have 6 spades when your partner has 5? That comes along once a year.
Okay.
So it would be silly to play the system that way, where you would have to have 6 spades in order to bid 2 spades. It just wouldn't make any sense. In other words, bridge does make sense. There is a rhyme and a reason for why bidding has developed and evolved the way it has. Because it works. In other words, you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want that to require 6 spades. You're never going to have 6 spades here. Not never, but rarely. But we're looking for an 8 card. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, here's where you're getting confused. If you open a spade and partner bids a no trump and you rebid 2 spades, that shows 6 spades. Because you open to show 5, and now you're rebidding it. That means you have 6. But it's by the same person. In other words, it's the opener that is showing a 6 card spades, not the responder.
Okay, so here the difference is that this is not by the same person.
Yeah, that's everything.
Okay, that's interesting.
Okay, so
I feel like I'm learning from the beginning all over.
Okay, and now North, who's a passed hand, so I know he's on less than 13, but he supports my diamonds. I know he has at least 3 diamonds, and he's chosen to go to the 3 level. He wouldn't do that on 6 points, so he's probably got close to 10. If I click on this, it's going to say 3 plus diamonds, and it's probably going to say 8 to 11 points. 3 plus diamonds, 6 to 10. Okay. But I wouldn't do that on 6 points. You don't have to bid, pass. But if I had 10 points and I had diamond support, yeah, I want to let partner know that I support your diamonds, but I only have, I'm a passed hand, so I can't have too much. Okay, and now it's competition for a part score. Who's going to win the competition to get this part score? It's not likely that anybody is going to gain. So I'm not going to keep bidding. I don't want to bid 4 diamonds. I want to pass. Everybody passes. They won the auction. They are playing 3 spades by East. I am on lead. What should I lead? Now, when you are on lead, you don't really want to lead from combinations like ace queen. That's a horrible lead to lead away from. You don't want to lead the ace. You don't want to lead the queen. You don't want to lead a little one. What if declarer has the king? You're giving him a free trick by leading the suit. I also don't want to lead from that. You don't want to lead from these disconnected honors. You also don't want to lead from unsupported aces. So you don't really like a heart lead, a club lead, or a diamond lead here. The safest lead is to lead a spade. And by safe, I mean you're trying to avoid giving away a trick at trick 1. If I lead the ace of diamonds and East, the person on my right, has the king, I have given away a trick because he would never score that king. I've got the ace queen behind him. He's never getting that king. The only way he could get that king is if I lead the suit. If I lead the ace, he gets the king, and if I lead small, he gets the king. So I don't like leading away from ace queens or ace jacks or king jacks, anything like that. It's not an attractive lead to lead away from a combination of honors. They're touching, it's different. If I had ace king of diamonds, then I would always lead the ace. And the lead of an ace usually means, partner, I also have the king. When you lead an ace, you generally are telling partner, I also have the king. Okay, so
does it have to be touching?
Yes, well, ace king.
Okay.
You could also have like queen jack 10, you'd lead the queen. In other words, if you have a sequence of honors, yes, that's a beautiful lead. You lead the top one. You can't be giving away a trick when you have a sequence of honors. If I had ace king, I'm not giving away a trick by leading the ace. All right, so I'm going to make a passive lead here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're going to get to do something here that we haven't gotten to do very much, which is to play defense. Most of the time, we've been declared. So when you're playing defense, you try to picture what the opener's hand is. Well, what do we know about his hand? We know he has 5 spades for starters. We also know 5 or more. We also know that he has an opening hand. He has 13 or more points. So that's what we know at this point. Got to follow suit here. Okay, partner showed out. Hold on, I would like to stop it. This doesn't allow me to do it. Partner showed out a spades. So now I know that declarer had 6 spades because I can count. You have to be able to count to 13. I started with 2. There were 4 in dummy. Partner showed out at trick 2, so he only had 1 spade. He had 1 and I had 2, that's 3. So the opponents had 10. There were 4 in dummy. Declarer has 6. So at this point, I know more information about declarer's hand. He had 6 spades. Not only that, but he had the ace, the king, and the jack. So I know he had 6 spades to the ace, king, jack. So I know he has 8 points in spades. And now he has the queen of hearts. So I know 10 of his points. Well, I'm going to take the queen with the ace. You want your aces to take honors. So I'm going to take it. Now it's not quite as dangerous for me to lead a diamond anymore. And the reason is that I can see the king is on my left. There's no way I'm going to prevent him from getting the king. So I'm going to lead the ace of diamonds. If I underlet a diamond, he would go up with the king and he would win it at the first trick. But I couldn't keep him from winning the king of diamonds. So I don't mind leading the diamond at that. Okay, now he's got the queen jack of hearts. So his heart suit is going to run. They're all set up. And he's just going to, I don't know why he's pulling trump. He must have the rest of the tricks. And now all 3 of these hearts are good. He's just going to pitch whatever losers he might have had. Pitching clubs. I don't need to keep my clubs. Going to pitch another club. I'll hold on to my diamonds. See, we didn't get a club. Had I let a club earlier, we would have gotten the ace of clubs. We let him throw away his losing clubs. And that was a difficult play. For me to switch to a club from king jack of clubs was really difficult. I didn't know my partner had the ace of clubs. And I might be giving away a trick. But by not leading clubs, I cost us a trick. In other words, he made 11 tricks on this hand. And if we look at the hand and we look at his hand, he has no spade losers. He has 1 heart loser all day long, nothing he can do about it. He has 2 club losers all day long, and he has the ace of diamonds. So theoretically, I could have taken 4 tricks. We would have taken the king of clubs, the ace of clubs, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of hearts. And he would have made 9 tricks. By not being aggressive and switch, I got in with the ace of hearts when I still had time to play clubs. But I was afraid to lead clubs from the king jack. You can give away a trick really easily by leading clubs in that situation. But if your partner happens to have the ace, you can't wait forever. Sometimes you have to make an aggressive play in bridge. And this was a hand where I needed to. I needed to switch to clubs the moment I got in with the ace of hearts. Then we would have gotten 2 club tricks, a diamond, and a heart. 4 tricks instead of 2. All right, that's a good place to stop. I would encourage you to keep reading your books, whether they were written 50 years ago or yesterday, doesn't matter. Even 50 years ago, the books are very good at giving you information. And when you see a situation that you don't understand, write down the bidding and then you ask me about it the next time we meet, and I can explain what that specific bidding means.
Yeah, one of these places that I constantly have problems is trying to figure out, not in the opening, but when you get to the 2nd level or the 3rd level.
Yeah, no, that's the tough part. Yeah, the first couple of bids are fairly standard. You get those down pretty quickly.
Yeah, what this person
It's
has.
the 3rd and the 4th bids that become more difficult. But a lot of that, it depends on whether you're playing systems or not. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. I'll
You too.
to our
Okay, Norm. Talk to you
stuff
later.
and send you time that would be good for me.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, stay
Okay.
well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.